Hi, I'm Miriam Shaviv with today's edition of Mastering Aesthetic Marketing. And today I want to share with you 4 key steps that your aesthetic practice has to take in order to convert the leads that you are generating online. Now, very often when clinics come to us, they complain that they are not generating enough leads, and that's why they turn to us. But when we look at what's actually going on in their practice, the picture sometimes appears to be more complex. They may or may not be generating enough leads, but either way, that's only half of the battle. The other half of the battle is actually converting the leads that do come in and actually getting the people to book. And if you want to make the most out of every lead that comes and really generate ROI from your advertising and from the social media activity and everything else that you're doing in order to generate those leads, you have to find ways to up your conversion rates. Each time you do that, you're generating more return on your investment. And obviously it'll be cheaper for you and easier for you to take some easy steps to get conversions up rather than constantly having to chase new leads and facing the disappointment when a large percentage of them fall through the cracks. So what are the 4 steps that you're going to take? Let's go through them one by one. Step number 1 is you need to make sure that you get back to them extremely fast. And by extremely fast, I don't mean the same day, and I don't mean within 4 hours or within an hour. I mean within 10 minutes if possible. That is the kind of goal that you should be setting your receptionist. Each time an inquiry comes in during work hours, you phone them within 10 minutes. And I know that it sounds ambitious, but our experience shows that the faster you get back to these inquiries, to these leads, the higher the chances are that you're going to convert them. Why? Because you're getting to them while whatever it was is still on their mind, and you're definitely going to get back to them faster than other clinics, and so your chances go up. We call this the coffee break rule. If it's taking you longer to get back to them than it takes to go on a coffee break, then it's taking too long. Step number 2, you need a really well documented and thought out follow-up process. So you call the lead back really quickly, but what if they're not there? Or what if they tell you at the end of the phone call they need time to think about it, or whatever they tell you? You need to have a set process that whoever deals with your leads goes through, or that your clinic runs through every single time. Why? So that each lead is followed up persistently and consistently. Right? When it's left up to chance, when it's left up to somebody remembering, hey, there was that lead 3 weeks ago, or maybe even just 3 days ago, I wonder if anyone's followed up, I wonder if anyone's talked to them since we spoke to them last week. It doesn't happen regularly, and it doesn't happen in a way that's scalable and that will generate the results that you need. You need to make sure that there is a set follow-up process. How often are they going to be phoned? How often, what days are they going to get emails? When do they get a text? What happens if they don't answer? You need it all set in stone so that whoever deals with your leads knows exactly what they need to do, and so that the same thing happens every single time. And that is the way to make sure that every lead is properly followed through and that they don't fall through the cracks. Step number 3 is that process needs to be measured and trackable. You need to be able to see what's happening at every stage of the process so that you can figure out what's working, what isn't, and then optimize the conversion process. So to give you an example, you need to be able to see, is it that phone call that you make on day 7 that makes all the difference? That's the point at which a large number of your leads suddenly say, you know what, I'm going to book with you. Or is there an amazing email that you send out that is super persuasive, and that's the one that gets everyone to make the decision? Or can you see immediately that people who don't answer the first phone call, if you take step X, then actually they're going to book in with you? So you need to be able to see what's happening. By the way, it might also help you see that some receptionists or some members of staff are better at converting than others, which is also helpful information for you. But you need to be able to have an overview of what's actually going on with your leads so that you can improve that process and constantly up your conversion rates for your leads. And then step number 4, last but definitely not least, you need a really strong email sequence, an email program, in order to follow up every single lead that comes in long term. Because at the end of the day, there is a limit to what your receptionist or whoever deals with your leads can do manually. There's only a finite number of times they can phone people, and there's only a finite number of times they can manually follow up with people. So you need to make sure that your leads are followed up by email really, really consistently. Develop email sequences for your most popular treatment, so that everyone who inquires for Botox, everyone who inquires for liposuction goes through an email sequence until they book, educating them, showing them what you can do before and afters, answering their questions, encouraging engagement. There's all kinds of things you need to put into that sequence. That was just a tiny number of the types of emails that you could be sending them. But that sequence can really go on for a very long time. And of course, afterwards, you can sell them, you can promote other treatments as well. But the point is that people can take a long time to make the decision to book with you. In the meanwhile, you need to build up that relationship with them. You need to educate them, and you can use those emails to get them to book faster as well by educating them and by being compelling and persuasive. And that allows you to nurture hundreds and even thousands of people at the same time in the background while you get on with your valuable work of treating patients. It's all going on in the background, and ultimately that is what will help you convert and make the most out of those leads that you're generating and get the most ROI long term. So that's a very, very important part of the marketing process, is figuring out, once the lead is in, what is the process that you're going to take them through manually and then via email, and how you're going to track it all and optimize it all. We have developed a 3-step process that helps aesthetic clinics just like yours get existing patients and existing leads through the doors again and again and again, so that you can scale fast and raise your revenue quickly without having to continually chase brand new leads off the internet, leads that are expensive to obtain, can be very difficult to convert for all the reasons we discussed actually, and to give you a better way so that you have that pool of patients that know you, like you, and trust you, and book with you again and again and again, and make your life significantly easier, and very, very crucially, allow your clinic to generate a lot more revenue and return on investment as well. If you would like to learn more about that 3-step process, then I've recorded another short little video explaining the whole thing, and also sharing a couple of case studies of how it's worked in real life. I'm going to put the URL for that video in the comments below and in the video description. Please go check it out. And in the meanwhile, I hope you have a wonderful day.